Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, we're going to try to fix my 2008 Audi S6 with the V10 motor and put it back on the road. I bought this 2008 Audi S6 with a V10 motor before the world collapsed and I can no longer afford the gas to actually drive it. This car came with over $40,000 worth of receipts for maintenance from the last owner. However, he faced two issues that he was quoted way too much money to fix, so he threw in the towel and I picked up the car. Issue number one is this lovely subframe. Of course, the thing with the subframe is to take this off. As you can tell, we actually have to take off control arms. And while we're taking control arms off, as you can tell, the shocks are original. The upper control arms are original. The brakes are in pretty rough shape. And since we're taking the subframe off, we'll probably want to do the subframe bushings as well. One of the main problems with the subframe, of course, is that the part number is Audi S6 unique. And as you can imagine, there's not that many Audi S6s at the junkyard where you can find yourself a nice subframe. So I'm taking a little bit of a gamble because I've gone and found myself an Audi A6 subframe off a 3.2 liter V6. So the hope is when I pull the one off the S6 and put it on top of this one, they're going to be the same. Bushings are different. I know that for a fact. I cannot order it online. This thing is huge. And the quote from Audi is somewhere in the order of $7,000 to $10,000 to replace this. The second big issue with the car, which will definitely prevent it from passing safety, is this exhaust leak. Both of these are done. As you can tell, this flex pipe is completely cut through. But what's interesting about this is really only 3 feet of pipe, and pretty much anybody with a welder can probably fix this up fairly quickly. However, the previous owner was quoted 19 grand to replace the entire exhaust system. The exhaust itself is a bit complex, if you will. Flex pieces here, somebody's already tried to repair it, somebody's kind of done a shitty job, more of that there. But for now, we're only dealing with this. My exhaust shop said this is not going to be an issue. They kind of just wanted to weld a piece from there to there. I don't want to do that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to clean this up. We're going to delete the res, so I'm going to go straight pipe from here to here. I do want to keep a flex piece there, so I'm going to try and clean up the flange so they can at least get me a flex pipe and an extra piece to just replace this. Before we tackle the exhaust, let's go take everything related to the subframe, take that subframe off, and see what we're working with. Before I pull the subframe out, let's take an actual look at the C6 chassis and how it works. This may seem a little intimidating if you have to do it on your car, but it's actually really not that bad. On this chassis, the subframe itself does not hold the engine. If I remember correctly, my A4, the engine mounts are directly onto the subframe. So if you want to take the subframe off, you have to hang the engine off the top of the car and then undo the mounts. However, on the C6, you can actually see the engine mounts here, and they're supported by these big massive aluminum brackets on the front here, which hold the subframe by that one bolt there, but the engine itself is actually resting on this bracket here. So technically speaking, we should be able to slightly loosen up the bracket so we can free up the subframe and pull the subframe out without actually disturbing the motor. So we're gonna try that out. The transmission is already supported at the back there. So actually the transmission and the engine are resting on aluminum bracket and transmission mount, and the subframe should be free to go.
I've got the weight off of the engine mounts supporting the motor here.
don't push in, you don't want to damage your oil pan. But now at least we can get these two loosened up and get the subframe out. There it is. See this little cup here is what's preventing you from dragging it straight out. So you have to undo this bracket. You don't have a choice. So I'm gonna go take the other side out, and then I'm going to actually bolt this back up because it's holding the engine. So the fronts are solid aluminum. They're very expensive, actually. I am definitely not buying these. They're not even available. I think they're about 500 bucks a pop. Back ordered, can be bought. The rears are about the same thing. In fact, I cannot find these rears on the S6 anywhere stateside. I was able to find the rears for an A6. And if you can kind of see, I think these sort of match up what these were supposed to be, although these have completely fallen apart. So I ordered the A6 ones, and I'm going to use the S6 front, see if I'm able to get them out properly. Now, before I go finish this thing up and actually change the bushings, press them out, and all that sort of stuff, I want to mount this on the car just to make sure there's no clearance issues with the subframe anywhere. It's not going to hit anything. Because although they look completely identical, there is a slight difference here in this bit. And you can tell it's missing this hole here that it has there. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be. We're going to figure that out. The point is that the subframe is slightly different on this side between the A6 and the S6C. That spot that I was just talking about is right there. And the subframe right now is hitting the transmission right there. So that's exactly what they've done, is they've notched the subframe to fit over the transmission. So we're going to have to do that. We don't have a choice because I do not have another subframe. The S6 uses the 09E variant of the ZF transmission, while the A6 uses the 09L. It would appear that the shape of the actual transmission is larger on the right side, on the passenger side. The diff seems to stick out a little bit more. As a result, you need this notch in the subframe to clear the diff, which sits right there. And interestingly enough, that also means that the right axle is unique to the S6. The left front and two rears are the same between the A6 and the S6. However, the right front is unique to the S6. I'm guessing it's a little bit shorter than the A6 because the diff is poking out a little bit more. On mine, the boot is torn. And I want to go ahead and just replace the axle because I don't know how long this has been like that. I don't know if the CV is okay or anything like that. Can you guess how much the front axle on the S6 is? 3, 2, 1. That's right. It is $2,200 for this axle. And oh, by the way, nowhere to be found. It is not available in North America. I cannot order it. It's not stocked anywhere. I simply cannot do anything about replacing this axle. So obviously I got a boot. So we're going to try and fix this up. Hopefully the CV is still in a good shape. But as for the subframe, I don't have access to an S6 subframe. I wish I did. I don't. And maybe down the road I'll find one. I don't have one right now. So unfortunately what I have to do is I have to make this notch into the A6 subframe so that I can fit the A6 subframe on my S6 car. All right, the A6 frame is done. I've got the notches that I need. I reconditioned the whole thing. I was able to swap in the solid aluminum front bushings from the S6 subframe. They are 500 bucks a pop, impossible to find, but the good thing is they are solid aluminum, so they don't go bad. So I just pressed them out of the S6 frame and pressed them into the A6 frame, no issues whatsoever. Rear bushings are new. These are the A6 bushings. I could not find the S6 rear bushings. I imagine they're stiffer. Not much I can do about it, so it is what it is. So let's mount this in the car, because I then have to go ahead and more or less replace every single suspension component there is. All right, suspension's just about done. Got new brakes, pads, shocks, springs, control arms, top and bottom, sway bar links, and on the back, new shocks and new sway bar links. With the suspension done, I wanted to show you what we did with the exhaust. Exhaust shop did an awesome job at replacing the mid mufflers. I wanted to retain the flex here, even though they said they can just weld straight up. I did not want to do that. I did not want to join the back and the front of this, because frankly, the back moves a lot and the front does not. So actually the flex piece here is quite important to make sure that we don't break the rest of the exhaust. Now, one of these days, I'm gonna have to drop the motor and redo the entire exhaust in the front, because even though I repaired all of the flex pieces here, they are not ideal. And one very unfortunate piece of information is that I actually have to remove these two flex pieces to be able to drop the oil pan of the transmission and replace the transmission oil, which I really want to do, but unfortunately I cannot remove these things without screwing up half of the exhaust. Everything's rusted, it will not come off. So to actually change the transmission oil, I have to pretty much remove the engine from the car so I can get the exhaust fixed up so I can take the pan off. It is not ideal, but it is what it is. With the mid mufflers removed, the car is actually still very, very quiet. You can barely hear it on the inside or the outside. So actually, I think I might chop these guys off as well, leave the rear mufflers, and just do a straight piece from the cat right up to the splits there. But that's a project for another time. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to redo the entire rear subframe at some point. So once I drop that, all of this is gonna get removed, and we're gonna have a good chance to upgrade all of that. Before taking the car for safety, I wanted to complete some long outstanding service. I replaced the fuel filter, did an oil change, replaced the air intake filters and the cabin filters, which were both absolutely filthy. I also fixed the rear taillight, which is throwing an error on the dash because of some broken plastic, and replaced the passenger side door lock mechanism, which was throwing a code and not allowing me to lock the car. So with that out of the way, let's go for safety. Here we go. That's the safety done. Let's go drive. Man, this thing is absolutely fantastic. And to be completely honest, I'm not really sure what the mid-muffler is doing on that exhaust, because we've deleted both of them and I can barely hear this engine. There's absolutely no need for it, and you can't really hear anything. It's so quiet in here. Now, mind you, that's probably the S6 being, you know, more luxury. It's probably got better soundproofing and stuff like that, but either way, this is a very, very quiet ride, and you could definitely benefit from a little bit more grunt from the motor. But this is so well behaved. Wow, I mean, this thing will get you in trouble so fast. It is absolutely ridiculous. The sound is amazing, the car is amazing. You know, I'm coming out of a 5 Series BMW F10, and frankly, it is night and day. Now, I don't know if that's because this is the S6 versus the A6. Couldn't tell you that. But this car just feels so much better than the BMW. And the BMW was 4 years younger than this. I did the exact same suspension mods, did the exact same sort of work, but this thing is just fantastic to drive. That's it for this one, folks. Got the S6 fixed and back on the road. The original quote for the subframe and the exhaust was somewhere in the order of $27,000 to $29,000. I got the subframe for $120 plus the bushings. I got the exhaust done for about $350. I got the rest of the suspension and everything else done for under $1,000. I love it. This is an awesome car. Thank you so much for joining me. This has been a lot of fun. I hope to see you next time. This can be good. I think we're gonna need another episode.